Have you ever caught yourself saying "Good morning, buddy" to your dog before saying it to anyone else in the house? Or maybe you whisper, "I missed you so much" every single time you walk through the door, even if you were only gone for 10 minutes. You're not weird, you're not crazy. In fact, science says you might actually be smarter, more empathetic, and emotionally healthier than people who don't. Today we're going inside the psychology of people who talk to their dogs, and what it reveals about the human mind. Stay with me, this one will surprise you. First, let's talk about what's actually happening in your brain when you speak to your dog. Psychologists call it anthropomorphism, the tendency to assign human traits, emotions, and intentions to non-human beings. And here's the thing most people don't know. This is not a sign of delusion. It's a sign of a highly active social brain. A 2011 study from the University of Chicago found that people who anthropomorphize animals and objects actually score higher in social intelligence. Why? Because the same part of your brain that reads human emotions also activates when you look at your dog's face. When your dog tilts their head at you, your brain literally processes it the same way it processes a human expression. So when you say, "Are you hungry, baby?" you're not imagining things. You're reading real emotional cues. Your brain is doing exactly what it was built to do. Now let's get into something even more powerful. Researchers at the University of British Columbia discovered that simply talking to a dog, even without a response, lowers cortisol levels. That's the stress hormone that, when it stays high, affects your sleep, your health, and your mood. But why does talking help, not just petting? Because the act of verbalizing your feelings, even to a dog, activates your brain's emotional processing center. It's the same reason therapists ask you to talk through your problems instead of just thinking about them. Your dog doesn't need to understand your words, your brain just needs to say them out loud. This is why so many people say things like, "I told my dog everything, things I couldn't tell anyone else." That's not weakness. That's actually one of the most psychologically healthy things you can do. Dogs are what psychologists call non-judgmental social support, and that kind of support is incredibly rare, even among humans. Now you might be thinking, okay, but does my dog actually understand me? More than you think. A landmark study published in Science magazine found that dogs can understand over 160 words on average. Border collies have been recorded understanding over 1,000 words. But here's what's even more fascinating. Dogs don't just understand words. They understand tone, rhythm, and emotional intent. A 2016 study from Eötvös-Loránd University in Hungary used brain scans on dogs and found something extraordinary. Dogs process the meaning of words in the left hemisphere of the brain, just like humans, and they process tone of voice in the right hemisphere, also just like humans. That means when you say "you're such a good boy" in a happy voice, your dog's brain is processing both the meaning and the emotion at the same time. They're genuinely listening, not the way another human would, but in their own deeply evolved, emotionally tuned way. You're not talking to a wall. You're talking to a being that has spent thousands of years learning to understand you. So what kind of person talks to their dog the most? Psychologists have actually studied this, and the results are fascinating. People who regularly talk to their dogs tend to score significantly higher in empathy, the ability to sense and understand the emotions of others. They also tend to score higher in openness to experience, one of the big 5 personality traits associated with creativity, curiosity, and emotional depth. Many also show signs of a secure attachment style, meaning they form healthy, trusting bonds with both animals and people. And here's something interesting. A 2019 study published in the journal Anthrozoos found that people who talk to their dogs also tend to have stronger human relationships, not weaker ones. There's a common myth that people who are very close to their pets are somehow compensating for a lack of human connection. The research suggests the opposite. The ability to bond deeply with a dog is often a sign of emotional capacity, not a replacement for human relationships. Let's be honest for a moment. How many of you have had a full conversation with your dog and felt more understood than after talking to another person? You're not imagining that feeling. When you talk to a human, your brain is simultaneously managing multiple things: how you're being perceived, whether your words are coming across correctly, how the other person might respond, and whether you're saying too much or too little. That's exhausting. Psychologists refer to it as cognitive load. But when you talk to your dog, much of that disappears. Your dog looks at you with complete attention. No phone in their hand, no hidden agenda, no criticism, no comparison. Psychologists call this pure presence, and it's one of the rarest forms of connection available to human beings. Your dog gives you that every single day. That's why talking to your dog can feel like exhaling after holding your breath all day. There's also something that happens to a person over years of living with a dog. You begin to develop a kind of emotional fluency, an ability to communicate love, frustration, excitement, and comfort without needing everything to be perfectly understood. You learn that connection doesn't always require complete comprehension. You learn that presence often matters more than response. You learn that unconditional love is real because you see it every morning in a wagging tail that doesn't care what kind of day you had yesterday. And slowly, without realizing it, those lessons begin showing up in your human relationships too. Dog owners are often better at listening, better at reading body language, and better at sitting with someone in silence without feeling the need to fill every moment with words, because their dogs taught them that. So the next time someone gives you a strange look for having a full conversation with your dog in the middle of a parking lot, just smile, because you know something they don't. Talking to your dog isn't a quirk. It's not embarrassing. It's not a sign that you need more friends. It can be a reflection of empathy, emotional intelligence, and the human desire to connect. You're lucky enough to have a companion that listens without judgment, loves without condition, and shows up for you every single day. Talk to your dog. Tell them about your day. Say their name in that ridiculous voice only they get to hear. It's good for them. And it might be even better for you. If this video made you think of your dog, drop their name in the comments below. I'd love to see it. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating insights into animal behavior, psychology, and the incredible bond we share with our pets. See you in the next one.